In Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis powerfully states, "Every time you make a choice, you are turning the central part of you, the part of you that chooses, into something a little different than it was before, and taking your life as a whole, with all your innumerable choices, all your life long. You are slowly turning this central thing either into a heavenly creature or a hellish creature." Have you ever paused to reflect on how the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make every day are shaping who you are becoming at the deepest level of your soul? The words you speak, the thoughts that circle in your mind, the emotions that dictate your mood, and the decisions you make about your finances, these are not just surface-level actions. They are the very fabric that weaves the story of your life and ultimately the person you are becoming. But here's the painful truth maybe. In the quiet moments, you find yourself stuck, overwhelmed, or even lost. Do you ever feel like no matter what you say or do, you can't break free from the patterns that seem to hold you back from the life you truly want? Have you caught yourself speaking words you wish you could take back, thinking thoughts that spiral into negativity, feeling emotions that seem to weigh your soul down, or making financial decisions that only bring anxiety instead of security? Deep down, there's a longing, a desire to feel more peace, more joy, more fulfillment, but it feels just out of reach, doesn't it? Let me tell you this: your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money, they hold the keys to unlocking that life you desire. These 4 areas of your life are like pillars. When they're aligned with intention, they elevate you, propelling you toward the success and peace you crave. But when they're neglected, they can become chains, keeping you tied to past mistakes, regrets, and limitations. Your mouth, are you speaking words that build others up, or are you tearing down, not just others, but your own spirit? Your mind, are you focusing on what's possible, or do you find yourself dwelling on what's broken and hopeless? Your mood, does it help you see the beauty in life, or do you find yourself burdened with stress and frustration? And your money, are you managing it with wisdom, or does it feel like a constant source of anxiety and worry? Each of these pillars is shaping not just your day-to-day experiences, but the deeper reality of who you are becoming. Lewis reminds us that every choice, no matter how small, is turning you into either a heavenly or a hellish creature. But here's the good news: no matter how heavy those chains might feel, you have the power to change. You can take control, one choice at a time. The words you speak can be words of life and hope. Your mind can be trained to focus on growth, possibility, and gratitude. Your emotions can shift when you choose to cultivate joy, even in difficult circumstances. And your financial decisions can be the first step toward freedom, not fear. It's not easy. In fact, it's incredibly hard, and sometimes the pain of your past choices can make it feel impossible to move forward. But as Lewis said, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. Your story is not over, and every new choice is a new beginning. Stay with me, because this is just the beginning of a journey that can transform every part of your life. You don't have to stay stuck in the same patterns. There is hope, and there is a way forward, one intentional step at a time. I encourage you to keep listening, because we're going to dive deeper into each of these areas. Together, we'll uncover the power you already hold to reshape your life from the inside out. If you feel this message tugging at your heart, give it a like or leave a comment below. Let's continue this journey together, one choice at a time. Let me hear a blessed from you all. In Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis profoundly stated, "The moment you wake up each morning, all your wishes and hopes for the day rush at you like wild animals. And the first job each morning consists simply in shoving them all back and listening to that other voice, taking that other point of view. Letting that other, larger, stronger, quieter life come flowing in." Have you ever thought about how much your words, your thoughts, and your emotions direct the course of your life? How often do you find yourself regretting the words spoken in frustration or the thoughts spiraling out of control, only to realize they have impacted not only you but also the lives of those around you?
Think for a moment about the power of your words. How often do you pause to reflect on what you say? Each word carries weight, shaping the way you perceive the world and how others perceive you. When you speak with kindness, encouragement, and love, you're not just creating an atmosphere of positivity for those around you, you're transforming yourself. Words are seeds, and they take root, creating the environment in which your mind and spirit grow. Do you realize that your words can either tear down or build up, not just others, but also your own self-worth? When you choose words of negativity, even in small frustrations, you're reinforcing those negative emotions within yourself, and over time, they become the lens through which you view life.
C.S. Lewis knew well the battle within the mind, the constant flood of thoughts that can either lead us toward peace or pull us into turmoil. He spoke often about how the mind, left unchecked, can become a breeding ground for despair. The thoughts you entertain have the power to shape your reality. When your mind dwells on negativity, you begin to see obstacles instead of possibilities. But when you intentionally focus on the good, on opportunities, on grace, and on the strength that comes from your faith, you open the door to transformation. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's the act of training your mind to choose a higher path, aligning your thoughts with hope and purpose.
Your mood, too, plays a role in this journey. Have you ever noticed how your emotions can color your perception of an entire day? A single moment of frustration or anger can cast a shadow over everything, blinding you to the blessings right in front of you. But when you cultivate gratitude and joy, you begin to see the world through a lens of possibility. Even in the darkest times, the emotions you choose to nurture can either keep you bound or set you free. Lewis reminds us that there is a stronger, quieter life waiting to guide us, but it requires us to take control of our inner world.
And what about your finances? While this may seem unrelated, the way you manage your resources often reflects the state of your mind and emotions. Are you stewarding what you have wisely, or are you letting fear and scarcity rule your decisions? It's easy to fall into the trap of believing there's never enough, but C.S. Lewis believed in the abundance of God's provision. He saw life as a series of choices, each one forming us into beings of greater light or deeper darkness. How are your choices shaping you today? Take a moment to reflect. Are your words creating the life you want to live? Are your thoughts aligning with the vision God has for you? Are your emotions helping or hindering you from embracing joy, even in the face of struggle? And are you using the resources entrusted to you in ways that reflect trust in God's provision? There's hope in this awareness. Each day is a new opportunity to realign your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money with the life you were created to live. The choice is yours, and with every decision you are becoming either more of who you were meant to be or drifting further from that divine purpose.
C.S. Lewis once observed, "We are what we believe we are." Have you ever wondered how the words you speak reflect what you believe about yourself and the world around you? When negativity, criticism, and complaints escape your lips, do you realize that you are not only wounding others, but also reaffirming the very doubts and fears that already exist within you? The internal dialogue you have, the harsh words, the complaints are subtly training your mind to see only obstacles and problems. This creates a cycle where the negative becomes your reality, much like Lewis described when he spoke about the danger of letting negative thoughts shape our nature.
Do you feel trapped in this cycle? Do you catch yourself constantly speaking words that tear down rather than build up? It's easy to fall into a pattern of seeing what's wrong in every situation, especially when life seems to constantly challenge you. But have you ever considered that by focusing on the negative, you may be creating an internal prison, locking yourself into a mindset where growth feels impossible and joy seems far away? Lewis said, "What you see and what you hear depends a good deal on where you are standing." Where are you standing today? Are your words positioning you for healing and growth, or are they chaining you to doubt and defeat?
The first step to breaking this cycle is awareness. Have you ever paused to truly listen to the words that come out of your mouth, especially in moments of frustration? Are your words offering life, hope, and strength, or are they tearing down both yourself and others? Recognizing this is key because, as Lewis suggested, what we believe and what we speak ultimately shape who we become. Once you become aware, the choice is yours. You can choose to shift your words, to consciously speak life, not only to others but to your own heart. Every kind word, every positive thought is like a seed planted in the garden of your soul, one that can grow into peace, resilience, and transformation.
It's not easy. Changing how we speak is one of the hardest battles because it reflects deep-rooted beliefs and wounds. But it's possible. When you choose to speak life, you're choosing to see solutions instead of problems, to focus on hope instead of despair, and to begin rewriting the narrative of your life. Imagine the difference it would make if, instead of reacting with criticism, you paused and spoke words of encouragement, both to yourself and others. Wouldn't that shift everything?
Lewis believed in the power of transformation, and so can you. The journey begins with your words because they hold more power than you can imagine.
C.S. Lewis once wrote, "We are what we believe we are," but have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what are you truly believing about yourself? What kind of thoughts fill your mind when no one is watching? It's not just about the words that come out of your mouth, your inner dialogue. The silent thoughts swirling in your mind hold the power to shape your entire reality. Do you find yourself trapped in a cycle of regret, replaying past mistakes, or consumed by worries about an uncertain future? If so, how often have you noticed that these thoughts create barriers, leaving you feeling disconnected from the life you desire? The truth is, your mind is far more powerful than you may realize. The thoughts you choose to focus on are not passive, they actively mold your life. Just like the words you speak can build or destroy, the thoughts you entertain can either lift you toward joy and purpose or drag you into a pit of fear and doubt. Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to feel fulfilled when your mind is clouded by negativity? That's because the stories you tell yourself, over and over, become the lens through which you view the world. But here's the hope. Just as Lewis emphasized the ongoing process of becoming, you have the ability to transform your thoughts, to shift your mental perspective. How different would your life look if you began focusing on the person you want to become and the life you want to live, rather than the mistakes or uncertainties of the past? You'd begin to see opportunities where you once only saw obstacles, to feel a sense of purpose and passion where once there was only frustration. The journey to mastering your mind begins with one key element: awareness. Ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind on a daily basis? Are your thoughts uplifting and hopeful, or are they holding you back, reinforcing limiting beliefs about who you are? Awareness is the first step in reclaiming the narrative of your life. As you become more mindful of your thoughts, you can start to make a conscious effort to shift them. Focus on gratitude, reflect on the progress you've made, however small, and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. A powerful tool for nurturing this mental shift is meditation. By setting aside just a few moments each day to quiet your mind, to focus on your breath and be fully present, you allow yourself the space to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. In this stillness, you gain clarity, a deeper understanding of yourself, and a sense of peace that transcends your circumstances. Over time, this practice will not only build resilience but will also help you reshape the inner dialogue that defines your reality. C.S. Lewis once said, "Don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose." Have you ever stopped to wonder how much of your inner peace is dictated by the constant swirl of emotions? Life throws curveballs that often make you feel like you're at the mercy of circumstances. Stress, anxiety, or a lingering sense of sadness seem to take over, tinting every part of your day in shades of despair. How often have you found yourself thinking, "I can't control how I feel"? It's a painful place to be, feeling trapped by emotions that overwhelm and define your perspective on life.
But have you ever considered that emotions, though powerful, don't have to own you? Your mood is much like a lens. Either it can cloud everything in darkness or bring clarity to see the good. Lewis knew the human heart's tendency to be swayed by external forces, yet he also believed in the power of choice. While it's true that you cannot always control what happens to you or how you initially feel about it, you can decide how to respond. Emotions can be observed rather than obeyed. They can be reframed. And it begins by asking yourself, am I allowing these emotions to define my reality, or am I defining how I respond to them?
When you're in the midst of overwhelming emotions, it's tempting to believe there's no escape. But consider this: how would your life change if you could take a step back from those emotions and see them for what they are: temporary, shifting reactions, not the final say on who you are or what your future holds. Imagine the freedom that would come from learning to cultivate gratitude and kindness even when you're feeling at your lowest. Gratitude, after all, shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's still good in your life. Kindness, when extended to yourself and others, breaks the cycle of negativity and fosters an environment where positive emotions can thrive. C.S. Lewis reminds us that while emotions are a part of our human experience, they are not the foundation on which we should build our lives. In the same way that he pointed to eternal joys over fleeting feelings, you too can shift your emotional landscape by learning to respond rather than react. Instead of being carried away by the tides of stress or anxiety, you can start practicing small acts of gratitude, self-care, and kindness, transforming your mood into one of optimism and peace. So, ask yourself today, are my emotions steering my life, or am I learning to steer through them with faith, hope, and intentionality? C.S. Lewis once said, "True humility is not thinking less of yourself, it is thinking of yourself less." Have you ever wondered why some days, no matter how much you try to uplift yourself, joy seems elusive? Perhaps the key isn't in focusing on your own happiness, but in shifting that focus outward towards others. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate a positive mood and inner peace is through the act of giving. When you pour out love, encouragement, and help into the lives of others, a beautiful transformation begins to happen within you. It's as though the very act of helping others ignites a light inside you. Can you recall a time when a simple act of kindness brought unexpected joy into your life? Maybe it was offering a smile or a kind word to someone struggling, or volunteering for a cause close to your heart. That feeling, that sense of purpose, is the soul's way of reminding you that you are designed to be a force for good in this world. And when you see yourself as a vessel for positive change, it can empower you in ways you never imagined. Yet, let's face it, sometimes our focus is pulled back to our own needs, especially when it comes to money. For many, finances stir up deep-rooted emotions: fear, shame, anxiety. Does the thought of your financial situation leave you feeling trapped or overwhelmed? You are not alone. In fact, the way we view money is often a direct reflection of our relationship with ourselves. C.S. Lewis once remarked that prosperity knits a man to the world, a reminder that money, if not managed wisely, can entangle us in a web of worries. Do you find yourself constantly anxious, believing there's never enough, or feeling undeserving of financial success? These thoughts may come from a deeper place, a scarcity mindset that limits your potential. The truth is, money, like every other aspect of life, can either be a tool that serves you or a chain that binds you. The fears we carry around money often stem from our deeper insecurities. Are you afraid of failing, or perhaps even of succeeding? Have you avoided financial education out of fear or uncertainty? Yet, understanding and managing your finances can be the very thing that sets you free. Just as with giving, the key to peace and joy in money management lies in shifting focus from scarcity to abundance, from fear to knowledge. When you view money as a tool to build a life aligned with your values, you begin to break free from the chains of anxiety. It's not about hoarding wealth or chasing success, it's about using what you have wisely, living generously, and making decisions that reflect the kind of life you want to lead. C.S. Lewis once said, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." This quote brings us to an essential question: how often do you allow your past financial mistakes or anxieties to define your future? Deep down, you may feel the weight of poor financial choices, a sense of scarcity that whispers there will never be enough. It's a heavy burden, isn't it? The anxiety of constantly worrying about money can cloud your ability to see the possibilities that lie ahead. But here's where the shift begins. Just as you have the power to change the words you speak, the thoughts you entertain, and the emotions you feel, you also have the power to transform your relationship with money. Have you ever stopped to think about how your mindset around money might be holding you back from the life you want? Perhaps you've been trapped in a scarcity mindset, believing that there's never enough, always waiting for the next financial crisis to hit. But what if, instead, you started to see money as a tool, What if, instead of fearing it, you learn to manage it wisely, aligning your financial decisions with the values and goals that matter most to you? Shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance is not about acquiring wealth for its own sake, but about learning how to use the resources you have to build a life that reflects your purpose. Lewis reminds us that our inner transformation begins with the choices we make every day, no matter how small. Education is the first step in this transformation. It's not enough to simply hope for a better financial future, you must actively seek knowledge. Have you taken the time to learn about personal finance, to understand the power of budgeting, investing, and wealth-building strategies? As you begin to equip yourself with knowledge, you'll notice a shift in your confidence. The more you know, the more empowered you'll feel to take control of your financial future, no longer driven by fear, but by a sense of purpose and clarity. But knowledge alone won't transform your financial situation. Action is required. Where can you start? Begin by creating a budget. Track your expenses and identify areas where you can cut back to align your spending with your goals. Even if it feels like a small step, start saving and investing, even if it's just a little each month. Over time, these small actions will compound, and you'll begin to see the results of your intentional efforts. More importantly, start viewing money as a tool to create the life you envision, not as the end goal. This shift in perspective will allow you to make decisions rooted in your long-term vision rather than short-term fears or desires. But let's be honest, this process won't always be smooth. There will be days when you let negative thoughts creep in, when you feel overwhelmed by financial pressures, or when you make a poor decision. In those moments, remember this: it's not the setback that defines you, but how you choose to respond. Will you let it hold you back, or will you, as Lewis suggests, dream a new dream and set a new goal? Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to keep moving forward. You're not walking this path alone. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, who believe in your ability to grow and thrive. Seek out mentors who can guide you through the complexities of managing your finances. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Celebrate the small victories, because every step forward is a testament to your growth. Don't dwell on your failures, but learn from them. Each one is a stepping stone toward the abundant life you are capable of building.
Your relationship with money is a reflection of your deeper beliefs about yourself. So I ask you, what story are you telling yourself about your worth, your potential, and your future? It's time to rewrite that story, one choice at a time, and begin building the life you were meant to live.
Learning to control your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money is a lifelong journey. It's not something you'll master overnight. But with practice, persistence, and a commitment to personal growth, you can start to create the life you've always dreamed of. So start today. Start small if you need to, but start somewhere. Choose one area to focus on, whether it's your words, your thoughts, your emotions, or your finances, and commit to making a positive change in that area one day at a time. As you start to see progress, let that momentum carry you forward. Let it inspire you to keep going, to keep growing, and to keep pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, because that's where the magic happens. That's where you'll find the joy, the fulfillment, and the abundance that you've been seeking. C.S. Lewis once said, "We are what we believe we are." How often do you find yourself doubting your worth or questioning your ability to shape the life you desire? Perhaps, like many, you have moments where the weight of your own words or the echo of someone else's judgment holds you back. Words, after all, are not mere sounds but seeds that either nurture growth or stifle it. Have you ever paused to wonder how the things you say, whether to yourself or to others, are steering the course of your life? Reflect on a time when a kind word gave you courage or, conversely, when a careless remark stripped you of confidence. The power of words extends far beyond the moment they are spoken. They dig deep into the soul, leaving either wounds or healing. The truth is, the words we speak both to ourselves and others are far more impactful than we realize. They form the invisible threads that tie us to our potential, or sadly, to our limitations. Consider the quiet but constant voice in your own mind. Does it cheer you on, or does it repeat doubts and fears? Lewis argued that the real battle is in the mind, and it's true. The dialogue we entertain in our head shapes the trajectory of our lives, affecting everything from our confidence to our relationships. If your internal narrative is one of defeat, it becomes nearly impossible to break free from patterns of self-sabotage. But if your inner dialogue is filled with affirmation and belief in your God-given potential, you will begin to see doors open where there once were walls. Do you ever find yourself feeling overwhelmed by the struggles of everyday life? Perhaps you carry the weight of financial worries, or you wrestle with controlling your emotions when stress hits. C.S. Lewis reminds us that hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. This means that even in your moments of doubt, failure, or frustration, you have the power to rise above. What if the key to transformation lies not in escaping difficulties, but in learning to harness your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions in the midst of them? The path to a better life starts with the words you speak to yourself, and to others words that build rather than destroy, words that affirm rather than discourage. You hold the power within you to change the way you think, speak, and act. It is a daily discipline, but it's one that carries life-altering results. Imagine what could shift if, starting today, you spoke only words of life, truth, and encouragement. What if you reframed every negative thought and redirected your emotional energy toward gratitude and hope? The future you dream of is not some distant reality, it's shaped by the choices you make right now. Lewis believed that each decision we make is turning us into either a creature of heaven or one of hell. What are your choices saying about the person you are becoming? It's never too late to realign, to begin speaking and thinking in ways that cultivate the life God has intended for you. Remember, you are worthy of love and capable of creating a future filled with purpose and abundance, but it all starts with the words and thoughts you choose to nurture today. Are you ready to take that step? Let the power of your words and thoughts be the first stones you lay on the path to transformation. Step by step, day by day, you can build a life of fulfillment, grounded in faith and guided by the belief that you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. In The Weight of Glory, C.S. Lewis wrote, "We are far too easily pleased. Have you ever considered how much more you could be if you harnessed the power of your mind to its fullest potential?" Many of us get trapped in patterns of negative thinking, where thoughts of scarcity, self-doubt, and fear limit our ability to see the possibilities that God has placed before us. What are the seeds you've been planting in the garden of your mind? Are they rooted in fear or in faith? Do you find yourself nurturing thoughts that lead to hope and growth? Or are you stuck in a cycle of limitation, telling yourself that abundance and joy are out of reach? The truth is, your mind holds incredible power. Lewis often spoke of the battle for the soul beginning with the battle for the mind. When we focus on what's lacking, we only experience more lack. But when we shift our thoughts toward abundance, toward the limitless possibilities God offers, we start to see doors open that were once invisible. Visualization is a key way to harness this power. It's not about mere daydreaming, it's about seeing in your mind's eye the person you could become, the life you could live, and the impact you could make, and then allowing that vision to guide your actions. When you practice this daily, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and decisions with this vision, your reality begins to shift in ways you never imagined. But visualization isn't enough on its own. We must pair it with mindfulness. Mindfulness brings us into the present moment, where we can observe our thoughts without judgment. How often do you find yourself weighed down by worries about the past or anxieties about the future? Mindfulness teaches us to be aware of our thoughts without being controlled by them. This awareness gives us the power to choose thoughts of peace over chaos, gratitude over resentment, and purpose over distraction.
Lewis once said, "You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. No matter what your mental habits have been up to now, today is the day to plant new seeds of hope, possibility, and divine purpose." It starts with small, intentional steps. Maybe it's taking a few minutes each morning to quiet your mind and set your intentions for the day. Maybe it's choosing to focus on a scripture that reminds you of God's provision when doubt tries to creep in. Perhaps it's simply acknowledging the progress you've made, even when you feel you have a long way to go. This journey of transformation doesn't happen all at once. It's a series of small choices, one affirmation, one visualization, one moment of gratitude at a time. And those small choices compound, shaping the person you are becoming. As you make these shifts, you'll begin to see that the power to change your life lies not in some distant future, but right here, within you. Your mind is a gift. Don't allow it to be overrun with thoughts that hold you back. Instead, cultivate it as a space where the seeds of hope, faith, and growth can flourish.
So what thoughts will you plant today? How will you begin the work of nurturing a mind that seeks God's abundance rather than focusing on what's missing? The world is waiting for your unique light to shine. Take the first step today. Believe in the power that God has already placed within you and watch as you create a life filled with peace, purpose, and joy. The journey isn't about reaching perfection, but about becoming more of who God created you to be. One thought, one choice, one moment at a time. This is how transformation happens. You have everything you need to create a life that reflects the fullness of God's promises. Now is the time to start. Let's move forward together and make it happen. C.S. Lewis once said, "Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different?" Have you ever found yourself at a crossroads, wondering how each small decision you make will add up in the grand tapestry of your life? The words you speak, the thoughts you nurture, the emotions you allow, and the financial choices you make may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they form the foundation of the life you're building. What if you could look back and see that every step you took, no matter how small, brought you closer to the life you were created to live?
Perhaps, deep down, you feel a tension, a desire for change, for growth, for something more. Yet every day feels like a repeat of the last, and the obstacles in your way seem too great to overcome. You may be caught in patterns you want to break, but don't know how. Maybe it's the words you regret saying, the thoughts that spiral into doubt, or the emotions that weigh you down. Maybe it's the constant struggle with finances that leaves you feeling like you're never enough. Do these struggles echo the longings and the hidden pain that so often remain unspoken?
The truth is, mastering your words, thoughts, emotions, and finances is not just about achieving success, it's about becoming the person you were meant to be. These 4 areas of your life are interconnected, and each small decision you make within them either moves you toward the life you desire or pulls you further away. Your mouth, are you speaking life into your circumstances or allowing negativity to reign? Your mind, are your thoughts pushing you toward growth or holding you captive in fear? Your mood, are your emotions serving you or enslaving you? And your money, are you stewarding it with wisdom or letting it control you?
C.S. Lewis reminds us that hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. Your challenges, though painful, are not barriers to your destiny. They are the very soil in which your future grows. The words you choose, the thoughts you train, the emotions you cultivate, and the financial decisions you make today are not just for survival. They are the building blocks for a future filled with joy, purpose, and abundance. But it starts with recognizing your power in these areas and making intentional choices each day, even when it feels hard.
And here's the beautiful part: you are not alone in this journey. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, with mentors who guide you, and with a community that understands the struggle and celebrates your progress. Lean on them in tough times, because becoming the best version of yourself is not something you do in isolation. It is in shared experiences and mutual encouragement that real growth happens. Each time you rise, each time you choose to stay the course, you are not only transforming your life, you are creating a ripple effect that touches the lives of others. Your perseverance, your light, your strength will inspire those around you. So take a deep breath and trust in the process. Don't be afraid of the small steps. They are what will carry you toward the incredible future waiting for you. Every choice you make, no matter how insignificant it feels, is a step toward mastering your life. With every challenge you face, you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. Keep showing up, keep believing, and most importantly, keep moving forward. You are capable of more than you know, and the world is waiting for the greatness that only you can bring. This is your time. Your journey starts now, and it's going to be extraordinary. The world needs your light, your unique gifts, and your passion. The time is now to step boldly into the life you were meant to live, one decision at a time. You've got this, and the best is yet to come. Let's walk this path together, trusting that every step forward, no matter how small, is leading you toward a life filled with love, purpose, and fulfillment. The future is bright, and it all starts with you.